This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so since it's the first meeting of the year, I'm going to call the meeting to order. So I'm Lindsay Green. I'm the Secretary of the Police Service Board. We do have a quorum. We're only missing one member, Dale Pallister, today. Everybody else is present. So first item was call to order. And then the next item is confirmation of the agenda. If the board is okay with it, we did forget to add the appointment of the chair and vice chair, which was my mistake, so I apologize for that. So if we could just move the agenda as amended to include those appointments, and then we can move right into those appointments. So I have a mover, Don. Okay, seconder,
Alan DeBreen.
Alan. Is anyone opposed? Okay, that is carried. So we'll move right into the appointment of the chair. So do I have anyone that would like to move the appointment of the chair? John? See your
I'll
hand?
move that that Jim Frew is the chair for this year.
Okay. Do I have a seconder that would support John? Is anyone opposed to that or have another idea? Jim, I assume you're okay with that? I guess I skipped a little bit there.
Yeah, you have to call 2 more times.
Yeah. So you're not opposed to it though, Jim, being the chair?
No, not at all.
Okay. So we have a nomination for Jim Frew as the chair. Is anyone opposed to that? Okay, I'll ask a third time just for good measure. Is anyone opposed to Jim Frew for chair for 2022? And that is carried. So Jim, I will turn it over to you for the appointment of the vice chair.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lindsay. I would like to have a nomination for the position of vice chair.
I nominate Alan DeBreen.
I'll second.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other
Well, Alan
nominations?
DeBreen would nominate Mr. Lewis.
Oh, okay. So we have a contest. Are there any other nominations? Okay.
Seeing as I was last nominated,
Pardon?
I'll thank my nominator but decline.
So you decline, John? Don?
Yes.
Okay, that leaves Alan as the nominee. Are you prepared to sit as vice chair, Alan?
Yes, I am, sir.
Then we will close the nominations and select Alan DeBreen as vice chair. Thank you. Get that out of the way. Confirmation of the agenda. Be it resolved that the board confirm the agenda as presented. Mover and seconder, please.
Jim, we already did that one, Jim, at the beginning there. We already did that motion at the beginning when we amended it, just because we missed the appointment. So we can go on to declaration.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Declaration of pecuniary interest. We hear none now. You can declare at any time during the course of the procedures. Adoption of the minutes. Be it resolved that the board approve the minutes of November 16, 2021 Police Service Board meeting as presented. Mover and seconder, please.
Alan DeBreen will move it.
And John Lewis. Business arising. Is there any business arising from that meeting? Hearing none, we shall move on to the detachment commander's report. It's all yours, Deborah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everybody. Draw your attention to the report that covers November 1st to December 31st, 2021. And just to go through that report, page number 2, we'll take a look at the Southgate calls for service. Up significantly from last year, almost 1,000 calls for service more in 2021. Right below that is our victim services for Bruce Grey and Perth, just to show the board that we do consider victims of crime and attempt to get them any assistance that they may need when we're dealing with them. Page 3, COVID-related calls up slightly, not significantly. False alarms are up a little bit in 2021. And 911 hangups are down, which is always a good thing. Violent crime, which includes homicide, sexual assault, robbery, and assault. Nothing really significant there. Assaults are up slightly, but not significantly. And you can see below there that's comparative to Grey Bruce as a whole. Page 4 of the report, property crime, which includes fraud, investigations, break and enter, auto theft, theft and mischief. Pretty much holding steady. There's no significant jumps, increases or decreases in that particular area. And again, you can compare that to Grey Bruce as a whole right below. Draw your attention to page 5. Drug investigations, they're up significantly in 2021, and I believe that that is due to the work that our street crime unit has completed in 2021. They did a number of warrants in Southgate over the last year, and which is a good thing in the sense that they are getting drugs and weapons off the street. Other investigations right below on page 5. We have domestic disputes and missing persons. Domestics, not a huge difference from previous years, 2019 and 2020. Missing persons are up a little bit. Can't really explain that, but maybe it's people are more comfortable with reporting that information. And again, compared to Grey Bruce detachment as a whole. If you'd like to take a look at page 6, we have a report from our Community Street Crime Unit, Detective Sergeant Jamie Blair. He just is explaining a couple of significant investigations that took place over the last couple of months. Although they're not in Southgate, they are in Georgian Bluffs. However, anytime we get drugs off the street, it does have a significant impact to Grey Bruce as a whole. A significant seizure, 110 grams of cocaine, a small amount of methamphetamine, a street value of over $11,000. And of note, where the drugs were concealed, some planning would have had to go into that, was located in the vehicle that they seized. On page 7, you can see sort of a year in review for the Community Street Crime Unit. They were working at, they did have one vacancy in that unit, and but they did do quite significant work over the last year, as you can see. On page 8 and part of page 9 is a list of your motor vehicle collisions in Southgate, and taking a look at the primary cause of those motor vehicle collisions. The significant cause have been driver error. There's a few wild animals or domestic animals, that's usually deer. And there's nothing there that would indicate to me that there's some maybe engineering issues with any particular intersection or stretch of roadway. On page 9 below, we have our impaired driving. Southgate doubled from last year, which is concerning, but we did do significant amount of ride in Southgate over the last year, particularly during festive ride. So that may be the reason that those numbers are up. Again, we were reporting on our suspect apprehension pursuits, and we're up from last year, but 2 as a whole for 2021. On page 10 of the report, traffic complaints, we had 29 in the last couple of months. Noise complaints, we had 3, and animal complaints, we've had 3. Bylaw in 2021, 19 calls for service with respect to bylaw. And right below that, patrols, we have foot patrol, close to 35 hours foot patrol in Southgate. And ride, we had just under 66 hours of ride conducted in Southgate. Paid duties for 2021, up significantly from 2020, and that's for the detachment as a whole. So that would be due to the proactive traffic enforcement we had last summer for some of the townships. And page 11 and 12 and 13 is a report from our media officer, Nick Wilson. He released just under 300 media releases for Grey Bruce OPP, and he highlights below his releases for November and December. And in the subsequent pages, he just goes over some community service work that he did within the 2 counties. On page 15, our Court Bureau report, the significant number of criminal record checks that we still do at detachment level. And as you may be aware through our media releases, we have changed the process for criminal record checks. We're trying to make it more streamlined and efficient. And that way we're going to an online application process where the person fills out the form online and supplies a front copy and back copy of their approved identification. That gets sent to us via email. It's processed here, then they get an email back when their record check is ready to be picked up. And then it's just a matter of 2 mornings a week. We are available for pickup, criminal record check pickups at either the Wyerton location or Chatsworth. And the applicant just comes in with their photo ID, pays the fee if it's not for volunteer positions, and then they get the criminal record check. So we're hoping that streamlines things. It's a baby step towards the centralization of criminal record checks, and there's sure to be some hiccups along the way. And we are assisting people that maybe don't have access to internet, or their organization that's requesting the criminal record check maybe could help them out as well. So we're still working through that, but I think that come the springtime, later in the spring, it will be a streamlined process. If there's any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer them. On page 15, it also has our Court Bureau, the part-time unit, summons and subpoenas is served, and the civilian fingerprints that's been conducted in the last for the month of November and December. Page 16 is about our auxiliary unit. We are down in our auxiliary members, but due to COVID, we have not been actively recruiting, but we're still taking applications for anybody that's interested. So if you know anybody that is, then please direct them towards our website, and it has all the qualifications that's required for that on the website. But also they can contact our detachment, our liaison officer, Sean Herlahai, and he can assist them with any questions. As you can see that our auxiliary unit has been very active. They are trained in operating our Speed Spy. That way we don't have to take officers off patrol. They set it up, they go get it in about a week. They download the data and then they supply it to our support sergeant, who then can direct any focus patrols that may be required for traffic enforcement. They also helped out with the different parades and food drives during the festive season. Significant hours were submitted by our auxiliary unit. And one good news story at the bottom, PC Cowan Pelletier received a thank you letter from a member of our community, where at a very difficult time in their life, this officer helped them out, and it had significant impact on that person, and they were able to write a letter to us and thanking him for his work there. And Mr. Chair, that would be my report, and be happy to take any questions if there are any.
It's nice to note that the crime has been going down considerably, and other areas just seems to keep on climbing, but all in all, good report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Anyone else got any questions? Silence is golden. Okay, item 8, correspondence. We don't have any correspondence, do we, Lindsay? Other than the call for nominations for the BOMers?
Yeah, that was just the only thing we'd received from Holly Dottie there. So we put that on there, but that was it, yeah.
Has everyone read that, or is anyone interested in it? Normally these applicants come from the Big 12, so it's not surprising that nobody's too much interested in it in a smaller community such as ours.
Chair Frew,
Yeah.
I just realized, I apologize, I just realized I don't think we did a motion to receive the detachment commander's report.
Oh,
Unless I
I'm
missed
sorry.
that. I apologize.
Move on and second, please. John and Don. Very good. Any further questions or comments for the detachment commander's report? Hearing none, then that has been resolved. That is passed. Thank you. New and unfinished business.
Oh, sorry, Jim, just the same for the correspondence, just to receive that item as information, mover seconder.
I'm not doing too well today, am I? Move on
Alan
second.
DeBrino, move it.
Thank you,
Alan
Alan.
DeBrino, move it.
Thank you, Alan. Seconded. John's going to second that. Thank you, sir. Any other questions on that? Any discussion? Hearing none, that is passed. Where are we, Lindsay? New and unfinished business. We try that
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Does anyone have any new or unfinished business to discuss?
I
Hearing
think,
none?
Jim, if I can, I
Yeah.
just, it's good that we have some finished business with some of the ongoing issues last year through the board and through the cooperation with the OPP, and that things seem to have calmed down very well. So I think that's worth noting.
Yeah, it is too, but I also wonder why it even got to that point. Anyway, members' privilege. What do we have for members' privilege? This is going to be a record for a board meeting. Hearing none.
All's quiet on the western front.
Yeah, I like it that way. Confirmation of the next meeting, that would be March 15th. Am I right, Lindsay?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, then I'll accept the motion to adjourn. John? And Don. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Meeting is adjourned. Have a safe day and enjoy the good weather.
Thanks.
See you later.